Alright, so woke up the next morning, which was Thursday. I went on a nice little walk right around Blair Athol, which is where the Athol Arms is located. And I went over to see if I could see Blair Castle. There was a little walking path where I could have gotten in, but there was also a guard post, so didn't want to get yelled at. But walked around. There's a little field over by the Country Museum. Found the water wheel that I had looked for the night before. Then I had a lovely breakfast. The interesting thing about the Athol Arms breakfast is it was the only breakfast on the trip where I had to order from someone. Everything else was a breakfast buffet. But I mean, I still got just standard fry up with no tomatoes. It was fine. Nothing remarkable, just fine. Then we went off on our merry way. The first castle of the day was Glamis. Could be Glams. Not enough people pronounced it where I am confident in the name. But it's where the Queen Mother lived. It's where Elizabeth's sister Margaret was born. She was the first first English monarch born there, born in Scotland in the past 200 years. And that's a fun castle. Well, it's a palace. That's an important distinction, castle versus palace. This was a palace because people lived there rather recently. It's set up beautifully. The grounds are gorgeous. It was just a great time. They had a special exhibit on the Queen for the Jubilee, where they had outfits from when she was little and toys that she played with.
It looked like they recreated her rooms in the dollhouse.
I didn't really look at the dollhouse. I was too distracted by that creepy doll.
It looked like they recreated the rooms as a dollhouse.
That sounds cute.
I know, it was cute.
I'll have to look at her pictures for that. There was this really creepy doll in the room that was always staring at me no matter where I was, and I wanted out of that room. Because that's also supposed to be the most haunted castle in Scotland.
You got a good picture of it.
That was the only time I felt creeped out, was by that doll. Other than that, there was a funny part where Mom thought she saw a ghost, but really it was a tourist that came down the stairs and went back.
And then she wasn't there, and she wasn't anywhere.
That's because she went back in the previous room.
That was what I was hoping.
But it was a fun palace. We could have spent more time there. They had cows on the site. It's in Angus, so that's where Angus cattle comes from. But that was a really nice time. The parking was great. Great little shop with antiques up top. I got this incredible little, you know, the little bell that you ding at a hotel, but it's like silver, and the globe part of it is like a literal half globe. It's beautiful. I love it. All right, after Glamis, we went to Scone Palace. Scone Palace almost was a wash, I want to say, just because we got there and we wanted to find the Stone of Destiny because that was Mom's most important thing. So I followed the marker on the map to where it said Site of Stones, which apparently is not where the Stone of Destiny is. That's right back up front where we had first gone. So we wasted too much time, and by the time that we wanted to take the castle tour, they were not allowing people in anymore. I did have a scone. She had a brownie at Scone Palace. That was my main thing, is if I'm going to someplace named Scone Palace, I'm going to eat a scone. And I did, and it was great. We took lots of pictures of peacocks, and then we went to our second to last hotel, which was the Hilton Dunblane Hydro. Has an amazing drive up, absolutely beautiful. You think that you're driving into a manor house from the 1800s, and it was a great hotel in the 1800s. It's an okay one now. It's just fine. It's very hot. They don't have AC like most hotels here, and
beautiful views.
Yeah, the views were beautiful. The facade is incredible. Dinner was tasty.
Very slow.
Very slow. The service, I'm pretty understanding on slow service, but we put in our drink orders. That took almost 25 minutes, and then we were done eating and we asked for dessert, and then they didn't bring it to us for half an hour, and we had already asked for them to box it up, and then they looked aghast that we asked for that.
But then they brought it without the box.
Yeah, they brought it without the box, and then they just put cling film on it, which was fine. So then we ate it up in the room. We had a very relaxing morning today. We're finally back up to the present time. And we only had one castle scheduled for today, and that was Stirling Castle.
Today?
Yeah,
Today?
that's today.
No, that was yesterday.
That's today in terms of the recap.
Okay.
So we had a very relaxing morning scheduled for today. Had a relaxing breakfast. They had a nice buffet. Then we made our way over to Stirling Castle. Stirling Castle is not the easiest to get to, just in terms of very itsy bitsy roads that you have to snake up the big hill. Lovely things to see on the way, including Mars Wark, which we tried to go to, but there wasn't any parking. But Stirling Castle's great. Not as many stairs, but definitely slanted upwards and downwards walking. A few stairs, but we got to tour all of James's palace, go in the various rooms. They had actors wearing period clothing, explaining what to do. Extremely kid-friendly.
I learned a lot from those kid blocks.
There were these little blocks where you would see the life of James and how we ended up at Mary Queen of Scots, where you would rotate the block and it would tell you all the history.
I learned a lot.
It was a good castle. I enjoyed that one, and it's right on top of a volcanic plug. It was beautiful. Beautiful unicorn tapestries in there. Beautiful garden. It's the Queen Anne garden. I enjoyed that castle. That was fun. Multiple gift shops, snack options, everything you want in a castle.
You really got the feel that it was a village
Yeah,
inside the castle.
it wasn't in ruins. It was more as it had been, which was nice to see. And then she thought we were done for the day, but I managed to figure out that Balloch Castle wasn't that far off of our route, and we had missed it on the first day because I had missed the turn. And so I told her we were going to the supermarket because she wanted to pick up a few things, and instead I took her to Balloch Castle, where she kept saying, "This doesn't look like the grocery store.
I wouldn't put a grocery store here.
This is inconvenient for a grocery store." And I forgot to bring you along. Sorry, you were left in the car. You can't go in except for to go to the bathroom, but it's one of those lovely crumbled ones where it's not overly commercialized, and it's just sitting there in the middle of grounds that are lovely. Really enjoyed that. And then we made our way to here, which is the Golden Jubilee Hotel, right next to the hospital. Literally, I can look into hospital rooms right now. When I booked this, I went for literally the closest hotel I could find to the airport, which is attached to the hospital. Oops. But
Hey, it works.
it's a fine hotel room. It has air conditioning, which doesn't seem to work very well, but it's better than nothing.
It's so much better than without.
It is better than without.
So much.
We had definitely a bit of a headache in terms of getting dinner last night. I had ordered this whole elaborate chippy feast with spaghetti for her because she had wanted it the last night, and I got like everything fried, even a fried Mars bar for her, and it had like pizza things, and I put in the order, and it was supposed to arrive between 5:55 and 6:15, and at 6:15 it still hadn't arrived. And it was one of those ones where you order through Uber, but the restaurant delivers it. So you can't track it like you can on normal Uber Eats. And I waited. 6:15 came, I called. It rang and rang and rang and rang and rang, no answer. So I tried back again. It rang, pick up, nobody there, hello, and they hung up. Called again, rang, pick up, hello, no one there. Called again, and they blocked my number. So it was at that point I was like, okay, looks like we're not having that for dinner tonight. So I tried to get on with Uber Eats with the support team. They weren't picking up either, so that was really fun, going back and forth, came back to the room, talked to Mom. We just ended up ordering McDonald's. The McDonald's arrived. Not 5 minutes later, the other food arrives, and the guy's like, "I'm in the lobby right now." And I said, "You're over an hour late. I tried calling 7 times. I was blocked from calling." We already have food. We ordered it from someone else. And he was like, "You already have it?" And I showed him on my phone that I had called them so many times and that I was blocked. So he was very understanding about it. He said, I'll take it away, no charge, don't worry about it. And about 2 hours later, it was weird, Uber said completed, and then Uber said refunded. So that was the saga, except for my McDonald's order was missing my halloumi fries, so can't win them all. And that brings us to right now, which is 3:01 in the morning. We need to get going. Let's go home. Alright, good morning Glasgow. Car is dropped off, bags are all checked, and now we're just waiting to board, which should be pretty soon. It's crazy to think that it's all over. Hello from Frankfurt. We didn't get to vlog last time because we were running for our lives, but this time we made it. Say hi, Mom.
Hi, Mom.
So I had 50 pounds from when Phil and I were supposed to go to Brussels, and it was burning a hole in my pocket. So I got Phil a little music box that plays Edelweiss. If there's one song he hates more than anything, it's Edelweiss. And then I got us both very nice pens because I wanted to spend all of it.
Very nice pen?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
So that's exciting, and we're gonna board in about 15 minutes. So 3 out of the 4 pieces of luggage are currently showing as here. The last one is still showing in Glasgow, but it hasn't pinged in since this morning.
But 5 minutes prior to that, the other one hadn't pinged either.
Correct. So we've got hope.
We got a lot.
But this is the longest flight, the nicest flight, and we didn't have to run through Frankfurt Airport. It was so much easier. It was 1 bus this time. Last time, I think we had 3 buses.
I can't remember. It was horrible.
And there were so many stairs. This time it was just 1 escalator up, another escalator up, and walk straight across.
This was the one with the stairs.
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, this was a rough airport on the way here because we almost missed our flight. And we almost missed our flight, and we had to run, and there were stairs, and it was awful.
Not just stairs. Flights and flights and flights of steep and slippery stairs.
Yeah, and my personal favorite being that they had people sitting next to them to say that they didn't have anyone to work the elevator.
It's so sad.
I mean, it's a button. All right, so we'll catch you in Seattle.